everybody on my stream.
Hi, I'm here. And I'm clipping.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud. Let me move this so I'm slightly in frame.
Okay.
Alongside you.
Oh, what you want me to move your thing?
No, I'm moving myself so that I'm a little more in frame.
Why would you do that?
I trust me to do it.
Hi, welcome to my channel. So now the question is, do we celebrate the fact that my starting the stream muted means that they didn't hear me completely miss that the stream started and the countdown ended?
No.
Or do we just pretend like everything went off hunky-dory except for the sound? Oh, the hats. Oh, the hats. Okay. Speaking of the hats, there is an update on the hat situation. So this one, actually, well, you know what? This has kind of become a running segment on the show. So okay. I prepared a thing. I have a scene transition for us.
Exploring sexuality with Rhino.
I mean, you could just say you like dick. That's fine.
No, because this is not accurate. I'm not going to go into too many explicit details.
Okay.
But after some experimentation,
okay,
I think I've come to the conclusion, and there's probably a word for it, but the word that I made up for it, when I Googled it later, it turns out that the Aces stole that one already. Because there's like more flavors of ace than there are anything else.
Yeah, like gray ace and stuff like that.
Yeah. So what I've come to the conclusion of is that I do prefer women. I'm attracted to women and not men. However, as long as somebody's touching my penis, I'm happy. Doesn't matter who it is.
That just sounds like pansexual straight leaning.
Sure. Is that what that...
I mean,
that the official...
If you're like, so pansexual, obviously, like you're down with anybody so long as they're doing stuff with you. And then, straight leaning, you have a preference between the two. Like you care about being with women more, but like you still are entirely pansexual at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, Dark Fango in my chat was just like, yeah, straight leaning pansexual.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's straight leaning pansexual. Like, it is then. Yay.
Like that's where I would put that. Sylvie Snow says I've got a lot of questions about pansexuality and demisexuality.
So do I.
Pansexuality, it moves and it likes me, and I think that's pretty cool. Demisexuality, I know it very well, and therefore I like it. That's pretty confusing. There, I just summed them both up very quickly, and anybody who disagrees with me is wrong and a bigot.
Okay.
And that's what we're gonna do.
Jasta says, in other good news, Tesla stock had its worst drop in its history. So
it's like 11% drop, wasn't it?
I know this. I'm pretty sure this isn't the tone you meant it in, but the tone that I read that in was the like. It's so obvious that like I'm coming out as pansexual, whereas Joss is just like, yeah, well, in other news, water is wet. Like that's the way I read that. Anyway,
I like. In my chat, Jassa went, I still don't know the difference between pan and bi.
Rosina has it. There we go. Who needs labels when people can just touch pee-pee?
Basically. So as far as like pan and bi, there's a lot of people who disagree on what bi specifically means. So I'll go ahead and give you the easy version of pan versus bi. None of it fucking matters. It's okay to like people. We use labels as a way of shorthand communication. If we start confusing ourselves even more with our shorthand communication, then our shorthand communication has failed. Use whichever thing you're most comfortable with. Fuck off.
Okay.
There you go.
Somebody did send a hat, so I should probably actually put one on. And we're streaming early because we're going to watch Biden's address together. So since Biden is obviously a communist pig, I got my socialist, communist, Marxist, whatever other buzzword they're using nowadays, hat for that.
God, you just pissed off 3 different political philosophers from their grave. I heard Marx, Kropotkin, and I don't know, probably fucking...
And how about any that actually know what they're talking about?
I mean, Marx and Kropotkin knew what they were talking about. To a degree.
Senshini says, needs to be able to touch pee-pee, hand-sexual.
Yeah. Silver Dragon says, our hat.
It is our hat, yes.
Someone
Mentioned that the the what's it called? The alert sound was like playing 3 times on YouTube. I did a
Weird.
thing that might have fixed that, but it also might not have. It might have just broken it more. I don't know anymore.
Well, maybe when it comes time, you should walk to a voting place and vote on that thing.
Yeah, indeed.
It's the worst, the worst thing to try to communicate. Let's all communicate in Gen Z-isms, everybody.
Someone just resubscribed for 2 months. That's Mathematician Dragon. Says, I'm so stupid. Yeah, I'm so stupid because of ADHD. I had the stream open 3 times. I'm sorry. Okay. That doesn't make you stupid. That makes you at least as competent as me.
Melody says, I think you're having some delay with your audio. Can't do anything about that, sorry. Actually, I know what's going on. It's the fact that you're watching my video from Rhino's side, and there is a delay because you're watching a picture of a Zoom.
Yeah, so the way Sir streams this is instead of being all professional about it, he just like screen captures my Zoom screen.
Yes.
And I just send him, instead of sending him my camera, so that he just gets my face that he can incorporate into his stream like a normal human being. He just takes my whole OBS output as the camera and uses that.
110%. Because you know what I'm not doing? I'm not grabbing specifically 1/3 of the screen to show specifically all of the stuff that we're talking about when Twit tweets come up, or when we're going in the multi-formatted news articles. So what I'm not doing is spending spoons on that when I don't have to.
I mean, we could just go halfsies on StreamYard or something.
We could.
Actually, no, I think I already paid for Stream Elements, or no, Restream. I think I already paid for Restream. So,
but I'm gonna be honest, I have never liked StreamYard.
No, I don't like it either.
I don't think I ever will.
Ease of use is nice. It is nice that like people can just click a link and now they're on your stream. But I don't know.
It feels like the iPhone versus Android of doing streams, where like with Discord or Zoom, you're grabbing pieces and splicing them into your stuff.
But you can do whatever the fuck you want with them.
But you can do whatever you want. Whereas with StreamYard, you now have to do things the way StreamYard wants. Good luck.
Okay, Biden's supposed to start any minute now, so we might have to cut you off when he actually starts talking.
Oh, okay.
Rosina says, think Biden will announce he's been a zombie like Jesus? No, because that would be the appropriate thing to do if he were announcing that, like, no, I'm actually not dropping out.
That would mean we're in the fun
I'm back to
timeline.
life now.
Fennec says, did y'all start early? Yes, I should have started earlier.
Yeah, we started early because we want to watch the Biden address thing.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, my original plan was get home from the gym, make my Magic the Gathering video, and then immediately like hop on stream. And then the longer it was taking to make my video, the more I was looking at the time going, oh shit.
Yeah, I was also looking at the time going, oh shit.
Yeah, I am very sorry about that, but I got the stuff that I was doing. Stop says, are we going to get Rhino on God's Gang tonight? I don't know if I can convince Rhino to watch episode 2 of God's Gang with me. Or if he even knows what that is, actually.
Thank you, Fennec. Well, my partner just accused me of cheating on her with you.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of confused all over. Oh, Biden's here.
My fellow Americans.
My fellow Americans.
I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that guide this nation. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice. Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office, but I love my country more. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think it's more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people.
I respect that.
But this sacred task of perfecting our union, it's not about me. It's about you.
Oh, he's choosing not
Your
to do the
families,
Ruth Gator
your
Ginsburg
futures.
thing.
It's about we, the people.
Yeah.
We can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare
Oh, we
moments
got
in
double.
history when the decisions we make now will determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate, between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy? In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that? Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions
No, it doesn't.
because I know you, the American people. And I know this. We are a great nation because we are good people. When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth. And the truth, the sacred cause of this country, is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause cherish it so much. A cause of American democracy itself must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh
Sounds
voices.
like he's stepping down
yes,
from
younger voices.
running, but also from
And
the
that
presidency.
time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president.
Nope.
That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism. Make it clear there is no place in America
Like
for
home.
political violence or any violence ever, period. I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence. Our planet from climate crisis is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform
Yes.
because this is critical to our democracy. Supreme Court reform.
Thank God he's doing that
You
now
know,
instead of holding it
I
as
will
a
keep
dangling bell for
working
the next
to
run.
ensure America remains strong, secure, and the leader of the free world.
I mean, depends what the reform
I'm
is.
the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. We'll keep rallying a coalition of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine and doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger, and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history. I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. That's not the case anymore. And I'm going to keep working to end the war in Gaza, bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war. We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly detained all around the world. You know, we've come so far since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities. we were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century, the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. We came together as Americans.
Did he just get like
we got through
adrenaline shot through
We
him
emerged
this last
stronger,
second?
more prosperous, and more secure.
He was doing this.
Today, we have the strongest economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record. Wages are up. Inflation continues to come down. The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, and tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America. We're leading the world again in chips and science and innovation. We finally beat Big Pharma after all these years to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors.
We
And
definitely
I'm going to
didn't.
keep fighting to make sure we lower the cost for everyone, not just seniors. More people have health care today in America than ever before. And I signed one of the most significant laws helping millions of veterans and their families who are exposed to toxic materials. You know, most significant climate law ever in the history of the world. The first major gun safety law in 30 years. Today, the violent crime rate is at a 50-year low. We're also securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than when the previous administration left office. I've kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States of America. I also kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and be a president for all Americans. That's what I've done. I ran for president 4 years ago because I believed and still do that the soul of America was at stake. The very nature of who we are was at stake. And that's still the case. America's an idea. An idea stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It's the most powerful idea in the history of the world. That idea is that we hold these truths to be self-evident. We're all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights: life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We've never fully lived up to it, to this sacred idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I do not believe the American people will walk away from it now. In just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known. I would like to thank our great Vice President, Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country. Now the choice is up to you, the American people. When you make that choice, remember the words of Benjamin Franklin hanging on my wall here in the Oval Office.
Oh, is that the Oval Office?
Alongside the busts of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Cesar Chavez. When Ben Franklin was asked, as he emerged from the convention going on, whether the founders have given America a monarchy or republic, Franklin's response was a republic, if you can keep it.
Yeah, we know the story.
A republic, if you can keep it. Whether we keep our republic is now in your hands. My fellow Americans, it's been the privilege of my life to serve this nation for over 50 years. Nowhere else on earth could a kid with a stutter, from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, one day sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. But here I am. That's what's so special about America. We're a nation of promise and possibilities, of dreamers and doers.
So now we're at the platitudes
Of
part.
ordinary Americans doing
Are we good if we turn
extraordinary
it off now?
things. I've given my heart and my soul to our
Let's
nation,
see where
like
he
so
goes
many
with it.
others. I've been blessed a million times in return with the love and support of the American people. I hope you have some idea how grateful I am to all of you. The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule, the people do. History is in your hands. The power is in your hands. The idea of America lies in your hands. We just have to keep faith, keep the faith, and remember who we are. We're the United States of America, And there's simply nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. So let's act together, preserve our democracy. God bless you all. May God protect our troops. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, that was it. I mean, I guess the platitude stuff was bound to happen
Yeah.
eventually, but
So
eh,
nothing entirely
There's
groundbreaking there.
nothing new was said there. We already knew that he was stepping down because he did so in the written address. We already knew that. Some vagaries about the next generation passing the torch.
We got to hear really loud swallowing a lot.
We did.
That was
It was you can tell that, like, in terms of public speaking bravado, he's certainly past his point where he's going to be doing that. Like,
I mean,
he's past that point.
He's getting close to 20 years past retirement age.
Yeah.
So like I was posting to Twitter about how happy I am that he's stepping aside and going with the younger candidate or whatever, and then I like oh, she's like 59. The fact that we're
she's 4 years past the federal retirement age.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just Googled what is retirement age in the U.S. and it said 66.
Retirement age in the United States was 65, is now 66 for the private sector. It is 55 for the federal sector of the internet, because Project 2025 talks about how they don't like that the retirement age is 55 for the federal sector of the internet of the United States, and they want to push it back to be more in line with the private sector. The section that I just got done reading is all about cutting federal employees' wages down, cutting their benefits down, and upping up their retirement days.
Calm down, Van Briggs.
Are we sure that was loud swallowing? If it was there, we sure it was Joe and not Jill under the desk giving him the energy for speech.
I mean, that would still be loud swallowing.
There was a moment, only if he comes more than dust. Let's be honest. Otherwise, it'd be coughing. But it's the it does kind of track a little bit though with his cadence in the speech. He was legitimately getting hard to listen to.
He was legitimately getting hard, is what I heard there.
He was legitimately getting hard to listen to, and then like he piked up and suddenly became articulate again. It was
the post-nut clarity.
It was the post-nut clarity.
Oh God! I was just distracted by I could see the teleprompter lines in the reflection in the window, so I was just distracted by that.
Yeah, you could tell it's teleprompter, and
I know. I'm not complaining about it. As someone who would be lost without his teleprompter, I'm not going to criticize him for using it. I just also go to great lengths to make sure you can't see reflections of it anywhere in my videos.
No, that's entirely fair. One day I should probably get a teleprompter, but then again, one day I should probably write a script. Maybe that would help.
I mean, if you pay for shipping, I'll send you my old one.
I just
stick your phone in it.
I just don't know if I had a use for it is the thing. Like my efforts have always gone towards removing filler words from my speech normally, and then making sure that if I'm recording something for the Magic Channel is where I would probably use it the most. But then on the Magic Channel, I don't use a script either, because I just go, oh, that doesn't sound the way I wanted it to be. Let me just cut, try again. Until I get it right. It leads to a lot of spare footage just sitting in my video folder, but we ignore that.
Yeah, no, I still screw up even with the teleprompter.
Ugh.
And I also, because the ADHD way of writing scripts, I do not go back and edit once I'm done. Like every now and then, like as I'm writing something, I'll remember something else that I wrote earlier and be like, oh, that actually, I should probably go back and change that. But like, if I don't do that, is like first draft of my script is also the last draft, but then the actual performance of the script is kind of like my first proofread. And so there are times when it's like, oh, I worded that really awkwardly. I should probably reword that. And now I'm trying to think of how to reword it in my head while reading the words on the screen, and it just makes everything worse. Having a brain speech thing like a stutter sucks ass in a bad way. Yeah, 'cause we do have to remember, but I don't like to criticize how he talks because he has a stutter. So the fact that he talks so well is impressive, to be honest. And like the slurring that he did, like I can't say I would do any better.
I can
On the spot.
I can understand the perspective of trying not to like quite literally be ableist when talking about another person's stutter, but I think it's also very fair to recognize from the outside if it legitimately makes it harder to listen to. And there were, like I said, there were parts where the speech got harder to listen to because he dipped out of articulation, and then he got back into articulation and things were fine. But once the words no longer are being enunciated properly, it's very hard for me to tell what someone is saying, slur or no slur.
Yeah. Fennec says, I mean, he has a stutter and he's also in his 80s. Yeah, so like I was kind of getting at before, I don't think I finished my point, is that like the candidate that we're now all looking at as bringing fresh youth into the equation
is 60 years old.
She's 6 years away from retirement age.
Yeah, that's
the young candidate. Like, come the fuck on.
The young candidate is 20 years JD Vance's senior.
Oh, Reploid is so lucky. You know how many times I like hovered my mouse over the video with the intention of turning up the speed, and then was like, oh wait, it's live. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Lucky Reploid. Late is the way to watch Joe Biden talk.
But like you said, nothing really new was given in the speech. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't a bad address.
I'm gonna call it now and say that there's probably already posts from Republicans on Twitter about how that was either pre-recorded or it was AI or something, and they're gonna still believe that he's dead
thing.
Yeah.
That stuff's been kind of infuriating to watch, not because I have any personal stake in it, but because there's a certain part where you're watching a whole bunch of people say stuff that just, if you were in the room with them, you would grab them and physically shake them and go, no, the world doesn't work like that yet.
It'd be like that scene from Airplane where the lady gets slapped by everybody.
Yeah, it's just, God, I forget what that, there's another movie where like there's a dude sitting in it's a kid's birthday party, and everybody who's going up to him is just like, Alan, what are you doing? Every single time one of them comes up to speak to him, they just kind of get smacked down. It's a lot of that. A lot of that is what you feel when you're listening to that. You're just like, okay, can you not pretend for a second we live in a true dystopia where we can just deep fake the president for this long and in front of people physically?
Yeah.
Zudman says, why do you think they do it safely from behind their screens? You know, I'll say this right now, and maybe there's some personal reasons behind me saying this, but there's a certain type of person on the internet that's very loud and vocal from behind their screen or behind an avatar or behind anything at all. And when it comes time to do the actual work of going out and changing the world in any meaningful way, they will not and cannot do that. They refuse to.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
They like feeling useful instead of actually being useful. And so for that person, man, it sure is funny.
Is that the person that made an entire video about you and spent 95% of it complaining about your appearance or how many views you get, and like only 5% on actual substance? Yeah, well, I did watch the video. You were just reading the comments because you're more of a masochist than you let on. It's like, honestly, compared to the comments, the video wasn't that bad.
I needed something to do while I was waiting for my magic video to export, let's be honest. But no, it's not just one person. There's a group of people, a lot of people on the internet who do that. And it's people on the right, it's people on the left. It's people who spend more time criticizing other people and less time working on themselves. And for for those people, I feel genuinely sad because I have no idea where they're going to be in 15 or 20 years, what skills they're going to develop in that amount of time, where they're going to be when there's less, far more interesting people for them to talk about.
Jassa.
Yep.
I know. Sorry to derail, but I guess who I'm covering this Friday.
Yep. I know you're covering Powell.
I'm not going to give too much away, but he doesn't seem to believe that piles of things can exist. Like when you put multiple things together, it makes one big pile that is bigger than the individual things. He has a big issue with that, and it's fucking hilarious. If Rosina says, who is more matter that Biden dropped out? Makers of Let's Go Brandon merch or makers of Dark Brandon merch? Probably the Let's Go Brandon merch people.
Most of the Dark Brandon people knew they were doing it for the meme. Most of the Let's Go Brandon people were latching on to something that they could monetize.
Yeah. That's
like
erosion takes care of piles. That's going to be in part 2. So the video that I'm responding to of Matt's is 40 minutes long. So I split it into 10-minute chunks. And yeah, my first response to the first 10 minutes of it is over an hour long. So
Poor King says, hey, Neko, Saris, and Rhino, did you hear that Michael Bay plans to make a skibidi toilet movie and a TV show? I did, and I'm here for it. There's nobody that I would want to tackle that franchise more than Michael Bay.
If someone's going to unclog a skibidi toilet, Michael Bay is going to do it with explosions. So go for it, Michael.
The skibidi toilet series is nothing but giant mech battles and explosions anyway. That's perfect for Michael Bay.
I will tell all of my kids that, and they will either think it's hilarious or give a big groan.
No, that's what it is. It's just giant mech battles and explosions. There's no dialogue. There's just a war with multiple factions, and they have giant mechs and they fight. And there is you can see like the technology of each military advance as they adapt to what the other militaries are doing. That is all Skibidi Toilet is, and it is goddamn wonderful.
Anyway, shall we do some news?
I mean, I guess we can if we have to.
So I apologize in advance. All of the stories are regarding Kamala taking over from Biden in one way or another.
God, I fucking love coconut pilling. Let's go.
There are different aspects of it. I didn't even check my news inbox today, so if you sent me stories, I'm sorry. I didn't get them. I mean, I got them, but I didn't look at them.
You didn't look at them? Same thing.
Same result. I mean, if it makes you feel better, there's also at least 2 emails from sponsors that I need to respond to.
Okay.
And, oh shit, one of them might be, hey, how come you haven't signed the contract yet? So I might have missed out on my July Surfshark money. Whoops. Anyway, on to the news. Biden ends re-election bid upending the White House race. Yeah, I guess we just kind of covered that by watching Biden say it out loud.
I mean, we kind of did. This is also something that like would have been covered probably last week. Honestly.
Did it happen before last week? I thought it was just a couple days ago.
The rumor mill was far more abundant last week. Like it was all but confirmed.
Someone explained the coconut thing to me. I know it's related to Kamala Harris, but like my gut reaction is like that sounds like a racist thing. So please,
that's a lot of people's gut reaction.
Okay, please just tell me it's not.
It's not. It is literally a saying that her grandmother said to her when she would it literally is closer to a Marxist thing than it is anything else. Because the actual full saying is, what, do you think you were just dropped on a coconut head? Or on a... Katini says, yes, it is, sir. No, it's not.
Did you fall from a coconut tree?
Yeah, did you fall from a coconut tree?
Oh, is that like the, you rely on society to do stuff around... Okay.
Because the entire... Katini says, it's a slurgan. No, Katini, we're not doing this. We're not doing this when literally Kamala Harris's actual quote... Where this comes from is about her grandmother doing the whole, hey, do you think you fell out of a coconut tree? And you exist within the context of everybody who came before you and everybody who came afterwards. Like, no, a part of words is the intent behind them. A huge part of words is the intent behind them. If I call somebody an idiot, it doesn't mean that I am trying to say that they are the specific medical term idiot that we use as per the DSM-3. I'm calling them stupid. That's what I'm doing.
Wait, idiot is a medical term in the DSM-3?
Idiot was a medical term. It was a term that was used. Idiocy was a diagnosis. If you had a sub 60 IQ, you were diagnosed as idiot. So, like, we've done it before. So, while there may be a racist saying about coconuts, when we're talking about Kamala Harris, nobody's fucking doing that. I'm just jumping ahead of that one right now because I've seen really brain poisoned people on Twitter doing this shit. Nobody who's advocating for Harris is doing that.
Okay. I'm just going to stay away from that one then. Because I don't care enough about a funny saying to worry about whether or not it's actually. Anyway, so President Biden endorsed his or ended his re-election campaign and endorsed Kamala Harris to succeed him as the Democratic candidate. Naram Daput said, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Thank you. There's the actual quote from Kamala Harris that started this whole fucking thing. I hate the internet, and I hate everybody on the internet.
Makes sense. I hate a lot of the internet, too. But I also love a lot of it, because like my kids are at an age now where like if I see a meme that they haven't seen, I now get to make fun of them for being boomers. Like apparently my oldest only found out about the Huaktua girl like yesterday.
Okay.
I forget what it was. I made some joke about it at dinner time. It was a PG joke. I know that is not a PG meme, but I fully expected this high school teenager to at least be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's fun that I get to like hold that over their head that like, no, I'm more terminally online than you are. Oh, Naramdaputs doesn't know about the Hawktua girl. Tua is spelled Tuah. It's more like Hawktua. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, as per Katini's thing, yes, there is actually a specific term that is used as a racially derogatory term, coconut. If we're going to use that to be our argument for never using that word, then I guess I can't have a certain kind of milk in my drink anymore. We're not doing this. That's where we seem to be on the internet right now.
Yeah, okay. I can this is what I mean. Like I could see it going either way.
Like if you can tell that somebody is using it in a derogatory way, then call it out when they're doing that.
Speaking of derogatory ways, I didn't save this to add into my tweets, but you sent me the thing where apparently Twitter's API leaked and a bunch of right-wing accounts basically have exceptions built into the Twitter code where they're allowed to use slurs and they won't get banned. And then the account that posted about that immediately got banned.
Yep, it was the Antifa turtle got banned immediately, and it's not just them. Apparently, and I've been seeing that talked about for the last 20 minutes on Twitter. There's multiple accounts that are getting banned for bringing up the API leak. It just depends on how they bring it up. It seems that if you talk about the API link with enough like points of distance from the original post, you're fine, like a quote tweet of a quote tweets type stuff. But past that, it's freaking crazy that libs of TikTok was on the list.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, yep, libs of TikTok is allowed to just be a person saying slurs.
I'm not banned yet. But yeah, I did a retweet of a retweet, so.
The two people that got hit, though, were gimmick accounts, and gimmick accounts always have a lot of traction on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Because they appeal to a lot of people, and Deepa Turtle did the technically not a gimmick account, but still a very obvious, like basically you can hear the account and know what it means.
Yeah.
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 Dark Vendega says it's funny how Musk is determined to shut down any information about it. Yeah, it is kind of hilarious. I am not going to lie.
Yeah, it's very It's very leopards ate my face. Oh yeah, I'm a free speech absolutist. Oh no, the people on my platform are doing a free speech, and it paints me in a negative light.
Mm-hmm.
But
He's look. This is the same guy that went on with Jordan Peterson and said the woke mob killed my kid.
right, yes.
I don't. I have zero respect for the person. He's just an idiot.
Yeah. No, it's one of the reasons so I'm trading in my van finally for an actual electric vehicle, and Tesla was not even on my list of brands I would consider.
Zedbun says, I can see part of the logic behind shutting down some of the parts of the leak in terms of proprietary data, but just talking about it though, yeah, no, that's Musk covering stuff. Yep. No, that's exactly what it is. It's nutty. There's all kinds of there's all kinds of this stuff, and it's only going to get worse. Like as the AI learning algorithms get more complex, there's going to be zero skill involved in doing this kind of stuff from a coding perspective. There's going to be zero skill involved from deep faking anything to look like this kind of stuff. Like it's
I already like that's the main thing that I use large language models for, is writing auto hotkey scripts for me. It's really good at that. And sometimes I'll have it like rework my own code to be more efficient because I'm a shit coder. There's a reason I dropped out of college.
Yeah, you're familiar with dead internet theory, right?
Yeah, that it's mostly just bots talking to each other.
That it's going in that direction.
Yeah.
So I looked at the history of dead internet theory a little bit. It turns out it actually began effectively on a Chan board as something that was more of a joke than anything. Like this was very tinfoil hatty, no evidence behind it. And then AI learning algorithms started getting complex.
Yep.
I mean, we can still derail some of them by asking them to give us a lemon cake recipe, but some of them it doesn't work with.
There was a Saturday morning breakfast cereal cartoon where he like it was a guy dressed in camouflage, and the camouflage was not like trees and stuff, it was just dicks. And so the punchline was like, okay, well, this is how we fight back against our AI overlords. They're all descended from the large language models that we put a lot of work into making sure that they would never even look at a penis, or like they would never do anything that we considered to be obscene. So this is the only way to hide from them, is to be wearing penises. Oh, someone's talking about Cybertruck. I saw Cybertruck in the wild today. I didn't tell you about that.
Oh,
yeah, no. It was very dumb looking, and very obviously it was just a branding truck for some green products company or whatever.
Did you see the advertisement for the Cybertruck in Fortnite, how they specifically decided to market it?
I did not know.
It is the most... Okay, so
Fennec wins. It's always satisfying to see some, like, someone who drives a Cybertruck is going to be a douchebag. So to see them pulled over, that's satisfying.
So the Fortnite trailer for the Cybertruck coming into Fortnite, which is always like a couple week thing anyway, but the trailer for it was an actual pickup truck, and then the Cybertruck with a chain to both of their hitches, and them driving in opposite directions and not being able to make each other move until the chain snapped. And it's funny to me because it's basically saying, look, the Cybertruck can do everything a real truck can do. Look at it. Because that's been one of the main things about the marketing for the Cybertruck, is constantly trying to play defense for it. Oh, look at Joe Rogan fire arrows at it. Look at how tough it is. Oh, look at how many things it can haul in its bed that doesn't exist. Oh, look at the potential it can have compared to an actual work vehicle that if you just made a strong EV version of would be better. No, instead you need this thing that looks like it was in an unrendered N64 game. And that makes it cool. It's also, hundreds of thousands of dollars more than an EV truck, but Who am I to just
Yeah.
judge you for making bad decisions? So looking at that advertisement, I'm just like, wow, this is the most limp dick compensatory
Hello?
thing you could have done to introduce the Cybertruck in Fortnite.
The
And then
Cybertruck can't get wet.
something about the car's code doesn't work in Fortnite, so it's been recalled in Fortnite. So the Cybertruck's been recalled no matter where it goes in the real world or in digital, it's been gone. It's fucking funny.
And Adam says, I've seen F-150 Lightnings around Ottawa. Yeah, I saw one of them in the wild today, too. Personally, I will freely admit that I am a truck bigot. I am bigoted against people who drive pickup trucks. Not all pickup trucks. The big, ridiculous monster pickup truck type things, like the ones with the extended cabs and the, like, are way taller than they need to be. Because the thing is, if you actually need a truck because you need to tow stuff and haul stuff and you need a strong vehicle to do it, the little ones actually have if you look at the trucks, like the non-extended cab, the smaller ones, like the classic trucks, the classic farmer's truck or whatever, those trucks actually have a stronger, like they have more towing capacity, they have a bigger bed. And so then people will be like, oh, well, I need something that can haul stuff, and I have a family, and we can only afford one vehicle. Okay, that's valid. You know what has a lot more hauling capacity than an extended cab trucks? Minivans. You put the seats down in a minivan, you get more bed space. So like
you don't get the same amount of bed space that you get in a pickup truck, though.
No, you get more. It can't go as tall, but like, how often is that even a thing? I've literally, this is something I pay attention.
How often are you doing construction projects on your house?
Well, so this is something I actually pay attention to, because like that's like when I've heard people that have the same opinion as me argue about this, that's the first thing that I think of is like, what if you need something tall that goes above the roof of the minivan? You can't just take the top off. And so like I actually look out for trucks that are carrying things that go above the roof. And in the last couple years, I've seen one truck carrying something that actually went above the roof line, and it was an extended cab truck where if they had either a smaller truck or a minivan, it would have been able to fit it. Like the reason it was above the roof line was because they had to tilt it up to get it to fit in that little tiny ass bed that they had. So yeah, there's no rational justification for having an extended cab pickup truck. If you need a workhorse truck, you get one of the little ones. You don't get one of the big ones.
Maybe I'm just desensitized to it because I live in the rural Georgia South, and most everybody's got one, whether or not they are trying to use it for like actual truck purposes or it's just what they have. It's just such a common thing here that it doesn't register on my radar. But there is
so for me it's also a safety thing because I have 5 kids. You know who's way more likely to run over their own children in driveways? People that own trucks and the big SUVs. People who own cars and little SUVs, little crossovers or whatever, not so much.
I mean, when my leg got crushed, it was from a Ford Excursion, which is built on the Ford F-250 frame.
I'm talking
which
more
is fucking huge.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've seen an Ford F-450, I think it was. It's basically a transport truck with a pickup truck body. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I got some super chats to catch up on. Riploid404 says the drivers of Cybertruck can't get wet. But Rosina says hashtag not all trucks. That's why I said the little ones, which are actually the strong ones. Because here's the thing. You get the bigger truck, it's got a bigger engine in it that's a more powerful engine. Yeah, sure. But the truck itself is heavier, so now it's got less towing capacity.
I need to address this one just because it's the 15th time it's been said in chat now. Miri Rand, I understand. I'm on a guest stream with another person. My ability to respond exactly directly to you is quite limited. However, thank you for fact checking me on the Fortnite truck thing. The tweet that actually said that it had been removed from Fortnite was faked. What
Okay.
was not faked, though, was the pledge from hundreds of thousands of Fortnite players to automatically destroy any Cybertruck they see in the game to make it that much more dangerous to even try to approach one while playing. Anyway.
Yeah. Pegajace says Cybertruck looks like something out of sci-fi. Yeah, low budget 80s schlock sci-fi where the prop department had $50 worth of plywood and silver spray paint. Yeah. Adam Broughton says, I can't stand big trucks either. I drive a small sedan, well, an overpriced one, but that's beside the point. Yeah, so I'm trading my my van in for an Ioniq 5, which arguably is also overpriced. But my monthly payment's going to be the same as it was on the van, so it's not like, yes, in the long term, it's going to cost me more than just keeping the van. Well, no, because the van's getting to a point where it's about to start fucking up. Anyway, whatever. It's not necessarily the most financially sound decision that I'm making, but I have very good experience with Hyundais. Like I've owned two in the past, and they've been two of my most reliable cars. And the van that I have is a piece of shit. And it's starting to make, like, it starts to sound like a motorcycle on the highway now if you drive it for too long. So before that becomes an all the time thing, I'm giving it to a dealer that will give me like $20,000 for it instead of wait until I have to pay to fix that. Because she's got the van now, so now I can get the Ioniq 5. Yeah, there are 1 to 2 year old Ioniq 5 or EV6. Yeah, there are. But like I said, the van's gotten to a point where I just need it gone. And the easiest way to do that is we just call up dealerships. Having an electric car is a non-negotiable for me. So we were just calling up dealerships being like, what electric cars do you have on the lot right now? And yeah, the Ioniq 5 was the thing we ended up with.
I still have a
my partner says
2023 Trailblazer that does good enough.
Yep. Anyway, back to this news item that we've been covering for the last 25 minutes in theory.
Unfortunately, it's been old news this whole time.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep all of the meandering stuff in the final edit.
No. Yeah, we edit differently, sir. So remember, all my meandering goes in its own separate video. That is usually the longest video of any of the things.
True.
Usually, not always. Would I have taken a Cybertruck? No. Were you not here for the beginning where I said Tesla was the only EV company that was on my absolutely not list? Well, no. The second one was Kia, which is kind of funny because I know Kia and Hyundai are owned by the same company. They got the same parent company, and a lot of their cars are same body, different stuff inside or whatever. But for whatever reason, every single Kia I have ever driven has been just intolerably uncomfortable for me in just one way or another. And I don't know what it is about them, but it's if it was free, would I take it just to blow it up though? No, I don't want to be saddled with that stuff. I mean, there's permits you'd need to blow it up, and if you don't get permits, then you get in trouble, and no, it's too much of a hassle.
Man, I am once again spoiled by living in the South. Permits for blowing stuff up? Everybody here just makes homemade dynamite.
I was going to say, with where you're living, you could probably just sell it and make a pretty penny.
Yeah, probably.
Nobody here wants a Cybertruck. Everybody in the chat saying oh yeah, I see Cybertrucks every now and then or whatever, and they're all talking about the ones that they've seen in the wild. And I saw one, and it's owned by a company. It's not a personal car. No person here wants a Cybertruck.
I definitely would, if somebody handed me one basically for free, and I had it, that would be sold immediately, and it would pay off all of my credit card debt, and it would pay off my house, and maybe I would use it to pay off my car too. I don't know, but I mean, one of those is a debt that I'm burdened with for much longer than the other. So,
Yeah.
Charlie Jameer says, I've seen the Tesla self-driving too. It's like the truck's maximum overdrive drove, like buggy Roombas. In the wake of Mr. Biden's decision, he declared the president was not fit to run and is certainly not fit to serve.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like
Man, maybe instead of the news article specifically, we talk about some of the extracurricular stuff that's happened about this, like Trump going on Truth Social and bitching about the millions of dollars he spent on an anti-Biden campaign.
I have a tweet for that, Cyrus. I have a tweet for that.
I'm not clairvoyant. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Actually, I don't know if I saved that specific tweet, but I know that is one that I pulled at some point for something. Yeah, the whole like they're complaining about how Joe Biden dropping out now constitutes fraud or something because we've spent so much money campaigning specifically against Biden. I'm just over here like, bitch, nobody's forced you to not have a platform to campaign on other than that guy sucks. Like, sure, Biden's main selling feature was the other guy sucks, but he still has a platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had things that he wanted to accomplish, policies he wanted to enact. Trump's just like, Biden sucks. Isn't he old? He's feeble.
He's just as old.
Yeah, Trump's only 3 years younger. Yeah, now because Biden never actually officially took the candidacy, Trump is now the oldest candidate for president in United States history. So there we go.
God, the edits of like blowing Trump's face out, showing just like how old he really does look behind all the makeup and shit have been wonderful.
I haven't really seen those.
It said humans need to redacted, then redacted with a pine tree. I don't know what you mean, Sunbremis, but did you know that pine trees are eukaryotic? I'm just referencing an old Hovind versus RN Raw debate. That's all.
The elephant thing? Pine trees and elephants?
Pine trees and elephants.
Yeah. Fennec says, I want to see. What do you want to see, Fennec? Oh, the Trump makeupified? I don't want to see that.
The Trump without makeup is about a centimeter smaller.
Well, I do want to read through some of this. Republican leaders urge colleagues to steer clear of racist and sexist attacks on Harris. Have you met the GOP? Sorry, Republican leaders, have you met your party? That's not going to happen. Trump's VP pick, the guy that loves couches sexually, was entirely predicated on Biden running. So just to, well, the fucking a glove and a couch thing is hilarious. It is fake. What is real, though, is that he wrote a thing about how he convinced himself when he was a teenager that he was homosexual, and then he recovered from being a homosexual or whatever. And
Hillbilly Elegy?
I don't know but like that one was real. But I've got some news for you. If you successfully convinced yourself into being gay and then convinced yourself out of being gay, no, you didn't. You're actually bisexual.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's a closeted bisexual who will campaign against LGBTQ rights.
God, but there's so many couch memes we could make.
I know.
So many.
But it's just not true, though.
You could have the Pornhub couch where there's the blonde girl and the 5 black guys around her, and then you just have JD Vance, and he's like, and all he's thinking about is the area she's sitting. There's so much potential there. He's not attracted to couches, but the $20 behind the cushions is $20 behind the cushions. I hate that the comedic potential is so great with the
people in the chat are saying it's an excerpt. There's a thing, or there's a screenshot of the excerpt or whatever. So this is from Associated Press. Well, here I can just open it up in the thing that I already have screen captured.
Yep. Speaking of screen captures, I also just sent you a picture of the makeup to Trump.
Yeah, I'm not checking that on purpose. Okay, it's cropped. The crop is all fucked up because stuff. But from AP, AP is pretty unbiased, very reliable, top-notch news source. They're one of my first. They're one of my first go-tos when I'm like trying to see how different outlets are spinning things to see like what the actual meat of the story is without spin. So claim Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance wrote in his 2016 memoir about having sex with a couch. AP's assessment is false. Vance does not write about performing such an act in his best-selling book. A searchable PDF of the memoir includes 10 mentions of the word couch or couches, none of which are related to accounts of salacious escapades. See what I mean? Like they just like, they're so dry about how they're saying that, but it still is just so funny.
JD Vance when he's not on a couch.
Are they as dry as Ben Shapiro's wife? So some social media users have claimed the story appears on pages 179 to 181, where Vance actually writes about his first days as a freshman at the Ohio State University. Yeah, so basically it's not there. It's not in his memoir. So apologies. I want it to be true too, because that would be fucking hilarious. But unfortunately it is not. The gay thing is, though. Oh, did you hat me again, Jassa? Yes, you did. 2 minutes ago. Okay, we haven't done Santa Puppy in a while.
I will say, the thing that pisses me off the most about JD Vance, more than anything, is all of the information that's been coming about his trans neighbor that he used to be on really good terms with and would bring baked goods to and everything, and was also like a really big supporter of her when she went and had to do top surgery. And then as soon as he became elected in Ohio, started supporting the anti-trans reforms because Republican, and it immediately forced a wedge in their friendship. Sorry, that stuff just pisses me off because it makes me realize, beyond anything else, this is the guy who will put his party ahead of any individual American citizen.
Yep.
That's what he would do if he got power.
So that's the thing. I think I have a tweet for this too, so maybe we'll talk about this later. But no, I'm gonna forget to talk about it later because that's how I roll. So the thing about politics is that the moment you start having loyalties to a person or a party over top of your principles or policy, like I'm not coming up with these things in an alliterative way on purpose, but it does delight me that that's how it came out. But like when you put individual people or you put the party over top of policies and principles, then that's dictator country. That's how you get a dictatorship and the cult of personality. That's how you get a Trump, where there's like, it doesn't matter what Trump says, Trump is right. Doesn't matter that he's demonstrably lying. Doesn't matter that he's saying something that contradicts something that he's been on video saying before. Doesn't matter that the weather forecast was wrong. He's going to take a Sharpie and change it to make it right. And we're loyal to Trump. So yeah, that must have been the right thing to do.
Speaking of weather, after page 600, there's an entire area about weather reforms in Project 2025 about how they want to turn that more into a pay service, apparently, but I need to go into more details on that one. Speaking of Project 2025 and the Trump loyalist thing, a fuck ton of that is about getting experts out of their fields and instead putting loyalists to whichever president gets the nomination. But we know that it was built for Trump specifically. The language just can't be that overt because it would be illegal for them to do so as a PAC. But it's super interesting to me that we get JD Vance proving that he's the Trump yes man on the back of Project 2025 for 2 years, effectively saying Trump yes men are exactly who we need to staff everywhere in the White House, while also making sure that there's more Trump loyalists per person in the Department of Science, and then making sure the Department of Science is able to provide oversight to all of the other sub-departments, loyalists or not. It's fucking dystopian.
Yeah.
God, I hate reading that document.
Thanks for the hydrate, Jessa. Anyway, the main reason I want to get into this, and all of my highlights are gone, so I need to refresh because they sometimes come back. So this is the Republican leaders are trying desperately to get their party to stop being racist and sexist against Kamala Harris. Yeah, no, it's already happening. Like, I think it was Laura Ingraham or one of the right wing pundits posted something like seriously asking, what has Kamala done to earn the nomination? And the replies were just like almost 100% blowjob jokes. Which, like, I get that we were making blowjob jokes about Jill being under the desk while Biden was presenting, but I feel like that's different. It's not saying
it's different because we're not making fun of Jill in any way. They're in a married relationship. We're just throwing things at the wall that could have randomly energized him during a point where he very obviously looked like somebody injected adrenaline into him for a small bit.
And yeah, and that's also not saying that he is in the position that he's in now specifically because he sucked someone's dick, which is what they're saying about Kamala. Which and Van Briggs says, I take full responsibility for the Jill joke. Yeah, okay, you can take responsibility for being the first person that I noticed that said it. But I could have chosen not to highlight it. I just thought it was funny. I stand by it. I'm not backpedaling from those jokes. I think they're funny. Like,
that said, where the Kamala Harris thing in regards to her being a person who fucked people to get into positions in the White House, I'm going to take a different approach than most people do on this. Most people would take the approach of defending the integrity of Kamala Harris and saying, well, no, look at her track record. She's done this and that and the other thing. No. I'm going to go the opposite route. Everyone in Washington is fucking everyone. Everyone in Washington gets into their positions of power in one way, shape, or form by knowing certain people. It's how they get involved with the best media teams for their campaigns. It's how they get into certain staff cabinets. It's how they make sure that they've got the right people on internship jobs to move them up in various areas of politics. No. We're not going to do this. No. It was just the integrity of Kamala. I believe that she has a lot of very, very good abilities when it comes to her time as a senator and prosecutor, and she's definitely done some things that I disagree with. Obviously, some of the ways that she affected Black communities I'm not super big on, but if we're going to, I think it is most consistent to point out that everybody in Washington is on some level either in the pocket of some lobbyist somewhere, or is beholden to party loyalties over their own integrities, or what have you. Every one of them is corrupt. Now that we know that that's the baseline, we start trying to sort like wheat from the chaff after that fact. Yep. It's all poison.
Yep.
Which ones are less poison? There we go.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Apparently Laura Ingraham, who is 61 years old, was making fun of Harris's age on her show. Harris is 59.
Then maybe Laura should step down and go do something else and go be a stay-at-home mom and to spend time with the kids.
So Mike Johnson,
we're on the battle sexism with sexism arc now.
Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, says this election will be about policies and not personalities. The fuck it will, Mike Johnson, guy who is in the Trump cult. Like, seriously, Trump, like, everything that Trump stands for goes against evangelical Christianity, aside from the fact that he's willing to give them what they want politically. Like, the fact that his morals are the exact opposite of everything that they preach is just like, but the evangelicals are still backing him.
They lap it up because of the shift that happened with Reagan. After the end of the Reagan presidency, the association between Republicans and evangelical South, in many times racist Christianity, was so thoroughly ingrained, and it's never left the party. The Heritage Foundation's also very open about that, about how that was the plan from the start. Like,
Yeah.
the original mandate for leadership was 3,000 pages for a reason. It covered a lot of garbage.
Yeah. And they're also, Republicans are calling for them to not be sexist or racist against her. But meanwhile, Trump in particular, you know, the guy that they are backing, has a history of racist and misogynistic attacks that could turn off key groups of swing voters, including suburban women, as well as voters of color and younger people Trump's campaign has been courting. So, like,
apparently
yeah.
Trump's been polling like decently okay with Hispanic audiences, which is really strange, at least compared to Kamala Harris. So man, a lot of the early polling stuff is weird right now.
Yeah, we're still far enough out that I'm not trusting any polls, because like the polls, the last 2 election cycles, the polls have just been completely off. It's like I'm not going to make any guesses about what's going to happen based on polling at this time. But yeah, anyways, the main reason I wanted to read through this article is because the way that they describe Kamala basically makes me want to urge you to vote for her all the more. Makes her sound more awesome than she probably is in reality.
Like if she's truly the Jezebelite socialist that they want to claim she is, then I just went to the polls that much faster.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, so Wyoming Rat Harriet Hageman says, intellectually just really kind of bottom of the barrel. I think she was a DEI hire, and I think that's what we're seeing, and I just don't think that they have anybody else.
What?
I mean,
there were literally thousands of potential candidates that could have been selected for VP 4 years ago, and Biden chose one of his opponents. That is who he picked. He picked somebody who ran against him.
Now, to be fair, in his speech where he announced that, he did, or well, maybe it wasn't the announcement of that, but there was a speech where he explicitly stated that, like, my administration is going to be the most diverse, equitable, and inclusive administration in history, and he did directly tie Kamala to that, but like, just because that was a consideration doesn't mean that was the only reason she got the job. Like,
what people think that DEI means is that you have a choice between a black person and the best person for the job. It's not what the fuck it means. It means oftentimes you've got 2 people who are equally qualified, and this is just one more drop in the bucket. You grab the black person between the 2 equally qualified people, and even then, it's not a binary thing where you're just like, if they've both gone to Harvard, vote black. You grab whichever one is going to work best, but you lean further on one if your cabinet is not currently staffed that way.
Specifically with the government, too, you can also, like, to quote Biden quoting Ben Franklin earlier, it's a republic if we can keep it. So it's supposed to be a representative government where the government represents the people. So in theory, that means if it's actually representative, then that means that historically, when you look through it, the percentage of people who have been vice presidents or presidents or whatever that are minorities, that percentage should match up with the percentage of that minority in the population, if it's actually representative. Kamala Harris, correct me if I'm wrong, only not white person ever to be vice president.
Off the top of my head, yes. So that does... God, I've been having to look into Harris stuff for like the last week, obviously, because of everything that's been going on. Do you know the racist remark people have been making about her being black, right?
I mean,
seen many of them.
4 years ago. I've seen many of them. What are you getting at specifically?
So the news articles when she was becoming attorneys general in California was there were a lot of it was centered around her having Indian heritage and that being a new thing for that position. And then when she started working with the Biden campaign, a lot of the news articles were focused around her being black. So there's a whole like little like wizard cat at the bottom going swiggity swoosh, now you're black. And on the one hand, it's if you're really stupid, it sounds kind of funny because it seems like the media trying to grab whichever minority thing will talk to the young people at the time. That's what it's meant to look like.
She's mixed, though.
But she's mixed because one of her parents is Indian and one of her parents is black. So it's that's why I said if you're an idiot, there is some humor there. But if you understand how genetics work, if you understand how having two parents work and not one all-encompassing omni-parent,
I'll do you one better, sirs. Forget genetics. If you understand how race is a social construct, and people of mixed race often experience discrimination both like in both racial communities that they are blended from, arguably it could be like that's a specific stressor on those specific people that is not necessarily experienced by someone who is quote unquote full black or whatever.
And it happens all the fucking time. Like there's like I remember hearing from people, and it's not been people I've personally known, but like seeing people on the internet pointing out how they had, say, like a white parent and a black parent, so they'd get called racist remarks for black people by, you know, just stupid affluent white kids, and then it would be harder for them to like assimilate into black communities as well because they would be looked at as an affluent white kid.
Yeah, because race is a social construct. So depending on the context, they're seen as a different race. Their genetics didn't change in between which one they were
about at the time.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a person of color. Yeah, anyway, so we got the list of attacks against Harris. Maybe that's the next article. Oh no, here we go. So voters will also learn about Harris' dangerously liberal record before becoming Biden's partner. And they're now focusing on how Harris is even more progressive than Biden and essentially owns all the administration's policies, according to a person familiar with the conversation.
Well, now they've lost the hyper leftist vote, I guess.
Like, no, I'm loving this.
Too liberal, guys.
Oh no, she's a progressive. No, this
darn!
Is a good thing. She's not an Irish Catholic kid who grew up in Scranton. She's a San Francisco liberal. Okay, good. I mean, that also could be like that seems kind of dog whistly to me. Like, what's another way to say Irish Catholic kid? White.
But don't you understand? Irish is only white if we're at the specific point in time where we can start calling them white. Because there was a point in time where we couldn't call them white.
Irish need not apply.
It's all fucking made up. It's all so stupid.
Also Italians. Same with Italians. She's the
they're
same
white
as...
they're white until we need to be racist towards them.
Mm-hmm. She's the same as Biden, but much more radical. She's a radical left person, and this country doesn't want a radical left person to destroy it. No, we want a radical left person to save it. She's far more radical than he is. We can only hope.
Oh.
Kamala will never win the tanky vote. Okay,
The tankies weren't going out and voting in the first place. I'm sorry.
Are the tankies the communists or the other ones?
The tankies are the...
I know there's like tankies and chuds, but I don't know which ones are which.
Chuds are right wing. Tankies are not just it's not that they're communists, it's that they're hyper authoritarian communists. These are the ones that like they look at the CCP and they go, yes, that one.
Oh, so they're left wing chuds.
They're left wing chuds.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
They're people who really want somebody to tell them what to do, but they want it to be in some like pro-labor version of people telling you what to do and being fascistic. That they like that flavor is all it is. But they're both authoritarian flavor ice creams.
Okay. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to get out of this article was how if Kamala was actually the person that the right wing is describing, she'd be fucking awesome.
Some Brenna says she's a total statist with no love for anarchy at all. Congratulations, you've named every person involved in the United States political system. Now that we've accepted that everybody's poison, let's try to figure out who's less poison. God, I remember saying that earlier today.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Jasper Proxy says, I want Porter, someone much more left than Kamala, but yes, Harris is the extreme one. Yeah. Don't mention Katie Porter around my partner. She'll just go sploosh and ignore me.
She'll go sploosh and ignore you?
Katie Porter's her girl.
Ah.
When Katie Porter busts out the whiteboard, she busts out her vibrator.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That was a sentence I heard today.
That was, yeah. Nobody clipped that, ever.
Everybody's going to.
I know, that's why I say it. It's engagement baiting, Cirrus. Come on, how long have you been doing this?
But see, if we bicker at each other, people clip the bickering because people love lovers' quarrels. So...
No, they don't, Cirrus. Fuck off.
I don't understand why
Shut
you can
the
be
fuck
so
up.
wrong and so confident all the time.
I'm not goddamn confident, Cirrus. You don't know me at all.
Yeah.
It's like we're not even married.
Joke's on you, atheist. You invoked the name of the Lord.
I mean, you were putting me in a foxhole. I had no choice. Okay. Last news item. We can maybe skip this one because it's not going to go anywhere. A GOP rep introduced articles of impeachment against Harris because as soon as she became the presidential candidate, they're like, oh, we got to impeach her. Because why the fuck not?
Which one did it?
Tennessee, someone.
Oh, of course, they're from
Andy
Tennessee. Okay,
Ogles.
I'm not familiar with Andy Ogles.
It wasn't MTG or Lobo.
Yeah, it's usually. I remember wasn't MTG the one that tried to do articles of impeachment against Biden?
A couple times, yeah.
Jesus.
Lobo was mostly going after what's his face.
Fauci?
No, the border guy.
I
forget his name. Whatever.
I don't know who.
Who cares? They're going after Harris for the border now because that was like one of Biden's things was like, okay, Harris, you take care of the border. And she did. And like Biden said in a speech tonight, border crossings in his administration have been lower than they were in Trump's administration. So, yeah, they actually did make it more secure than Trump did. Personally, I feel like the asylum process is all kinds of fucked up in the States. And like this whole thing where, like, I don't know, there's a lot of humanitarian issues with this, but like, I would say Biden's bad on the borders because he is doing more of what the Republicans would want at the border. But they try and paint that as open borders. So this is one of those things where it's like, you're lying about it, but I wish your lies were the truth. Because that would be the humanitarian thing, because these are human beings we're talking about. But anyway.
What I'm actually curious for what reason do they say they're doing the articles of impeachment? What is their specific reasoning here?
Harris has demonstrated extraordinary incompetence in the execution of her duties and responsibility. So just vagueness about how the borders are open.
Which duties?
The border related ones. It was her handling over a surge of migrants at the southern border.
The surge of migrants that. Okay, so there are, I think it was like, what, 80,000 some odd a year, something like that, coming over the border, but that's not significantly more than in previous presidencies.
Nope.
So
it's just normal border stuff. But because the Democrats in charge, it's open borders.
I'm so tired. I know I'm so tired. People make me tired.
Related to this, though, is how suddenly I've been seeing a lot less about Hunter Biden on Twitter.
Well,
They
yeah,
don't-
because now
they
that's
don't
not an
ca-
angle of attack.
they don't care
They
about
can
him
now
anymore.
prove. We can now say it was never. I mean, we always could say it, but now we've got like actual tangible proof. The Hunter Biden stuff was never about the integrity of the office of the president. It was never
It was
about
it was only about
anything.
attacking Biden.
Yeah, it was just about attacking Biden from whatever angle was most available. That's all it ever was.
Yep. Okay. All right, let's move on from there and get to. Sorry, I accidentally muted myself there for a second.
Oh boy.
My partner says she's not sorry.
Oh, okay.
So this is Black Knight 10K says, to everyone who stabbed President Biden in the back, once we put Kamala in the Oval Office, you are done. The Democratic Party is cleaning house the way the GOP should have done with Trump and his ilk. Enjoy what little time you have left in politics. So this is what I was kind of getting at with the whole, like, you shouldn't have loyalty to a person. If Biden is no longer capable of being, like, if he's not capable of beating Trump, doesn't matter what the reasoning is, like whether it's his mental capabilities or just the fact that he's so goddamn old. Like, no, you don't have loyalty to Biden. Like, keep in mind, campaigning is basically applying for the job. The people of the United States are the employer, and they are looking at these different candidates, saying, which one should I hire for the job? Which one do I think will do the best job at this thing? You don't owe loyalty to someone in that situation.
Correct.
You hire the best candidate for the job. You don't do the DEI hire of getting the old guy because he's the old guy and you need to have old representation in Congress, as if that was even in danger of going away.
Oh, old representation. Now I'm just imagining Trump holding up a sign that says hashtag old lives matter.
Yep.
Because that would be
awesome.
exactly.
I would love
that's
that.
exactly what he would do.
Yeah. No, if anything, we need to get someone who's like at the very, like, what's the youngest you can be president? Is it 34?
35.
35. We need a 35-year-old president for the DEI hire, because I don't think there's been a single 35-year-old president in your history.
AOC is 34 and her birthday is October.
Come on, AOC. No. Don't throw your hat in the ring this year. We need to just solidify around one person. Next time, AOC. AOC for president 2028 is the next one, I think.
Yeah, 2028.
Yeah. But anyway, it's like, no, you don't have your loyalty to Biden. He's applying for a job, and he's 81 years old, and it's a job that requires more mental acuity than your average 81-year-old has. Doesn't necessarily mean he can't do it. But, like, I don't know. He doesn't energize the base. Like, I don't know if I have a tweet about this, but did you see, like, Harris broke a bunch of fundraising records in her first day?
She got in 24 hours, she got like 80 million.
I think it crossed 100 million.
Yeah, I know that, like, eventually it hit like 240 million.
I think that was including PACs. I think the 80 million number was like just individual donors, and then it went over 200 million with PACs. But of the individual donors, 60% of them were first-time donors. So, like, these are people who have never donated to any political candidate ever, saw Harris taking over for Biden, and was like, yes, that's my girl, and I'm going to give her money.
Which is insane, but also perfect for what we have right now. Because I did a video on
energizing the base.
And I'll say exactly what I said in that video. I believe that right now we are in a unique position where people are energized for a politician more than they have been in a long time. And that's very, very important, specifically with this election that we have happening right now. Because with Biden, unanimously on the left, everybody, even the first time we voted for Biden, were like, I'm doing it because I feel like I have to.
Yeah, no, the sense that I got from actual people that I'm interacting with, because like obviously I'm Canadian, so I'm not voting for. Well, no, the way the GOP is describing
You're not
Harris, it makes me
voting
want to
for
mail
Biden.
in my vote as a dead Mexican. Just to hit all their talking points, but yeah, no, it's like Biden was the I will bite my tongue and vote for it, even though I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, someone just. Oh, that's a resubscribe. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Joseph JTEX, for resubscribing. Says, I think Biden could last 4 years. I don't think he could get reelected. I also think Harris can move the political window to the left.
I don't think she's going to move the political window to the left. I don't think that.
I don't know.
think she's going to move.
So here's the thing. I know if you look at her record, it's very sketchy as far as like progressiveness goes. There are some things to be deeply concerned about there. However, I feel like she maybe I'm wrong about this one. I like my source for this is having seen people tweet about it, so I could very well be wrong about this, but did she snub Netanyahu when he came to speak to Congress?
So yes, she snubbed Netanyahu by instead going to talk to a sorority, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's snubbed him. She easily could be meeting with him behind closed doors, doing the politics thing, where she goes, hey, it's bad for my PR to talk with you right now, but I am talking with you. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
That still can be a thing. It is.
But still, the fact that she is aware enough of the public image to know that snubbing Netanyahu would be good for her campaign suggests that she is willing to do progressive things in order to maintain her position.
Yeah, which is the same thing that we were happy about with Biden, where he basically had to be held to the progressive stuff because he saw how much progressives turned out in the primaries and how he there was a worry that he was not going to be necessarily
he was way more progressive
nominated
than I thought he was going to be. I was very impressed with what Biden turned out to be compared to what I thought he was going to be. Olivia Williams says JFK was 43 when he became president. Just saying. Yeah, but that's not 35. But yeah. Anyway, my point is, it doesn't matter whether she personally is progressive or kind of centrist or whatever, as long as we see that she is willing to act as though she's progressive. Because what ultimately counts here is the actions.
Yeah, I don't care what's in her heart of hearts. I care what she does.
Yes. And then people in Twitch are saying Teddy was 42. That's the answer to life, the universe, and everything right there. So there you go. Teddy Roosevelt.
It's official. Yeah, Teddy Roosevelt is officially the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
I hate that I loved this because it came from Blair White, because I wanted to hate it because it's Blair White. But she says the party of ACAB running a cop and the party of Blue Lives Matter running a felon is an objectively funny plot twist. She's not wrong.
No, she's not wrong. Tragic. The worst person you know made a great point.
Fucking Blair White.
But no, it is very funny. And it does mean I said this in my Harris video, and I'm going to say it again here. I think that it would behoove us very, very much that while Kamala is on the campaign trail, she's not the nominee yet, but we all know it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
While she's on the campaign trail, it is very important for us to lean very hard into the cops and robbers dynamic that her and Trump should very much have right now, especially because in 2020, a lot of her sub campaign under the Biden campaign was about how Trump is the exact kind of person who I know because of my time as a prosecutor. I'm very familiar with his type.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end of that sentence because I was busy putting my octopus on.
Oh, just the fact that Harris made it a big point during her 2020 bid with Biden to say, hey, I know exactly the kind of person who Trump is, and I'm going to put him on trial. Like, not saying specifically like what Trump was doing, I'm going to put Hillary in jail, you'll be in jail. Like, not that stupid shit, but I'm going to hold him to task type of deal. I think she should lean very hard into that.
This hat has given me a little Superman curl.
So it has.
I am Christopher Reeves, except I can walk.
Man, I'm. Did you ever watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged?
No.
God,
I know you sent me the link.
It's a whole series, so I don't think you're gonna want to sit. Did you ever watch Dragon Ball Z? Like
Nope.
actual Dragon Ball Z? Okay, so the series is funny whether or not you've watched it, but it is way funnier if you've seen it. I really want you to watch Dragon Ball. Anyway, there's a part in there.
Cyrus wants me to watch his Dragon's Balls.
Oh my god. So there's a part in Dragon Ball Z Abridged where Vegeta, who's a villain at the time, turns into a great ape. It's a thing that Saiyans can do. They turn into giant like kaiju monsters temporarily as a power boost. And so he's just staring down at Goku and goes, "Hey, what's the opposite of Christopher walking?" Goku's like, "I don't know." And then he just jumps on his legs and screams, "Christopher Reeves!"
I feel like Fennec saw that one coming because he says, "So you're Christopher Walken?"
Yeah.
Okay.
DBZ, not only is DBZ Abridged wonderful, but Kaiser Neko, one of the people who was one of the main people involved in making it, has been on a goddamn anti-JK Rowling roll lately. It is wonderful to see like content creators who I watched basically growing up just being absolutely fantastic human beings out in the wild.
Cyrus, I'm gonna need you to not talk about watching content creators as you grew up, because as someone who has been making content for long enough that I get the occasional comment from people that like, "Oh yeah, Vice Rhino, I remember watching him when I was a kid." I'm just like,
I'm sorry you feel old.
You're only a year younger than me, man. Come on.
I'm 32.
What? Oh fuck. You're younger than I thought. God damn it. You child. You fucking child. He's 32.
Child, but I'm balding.
That's because you're so high T.
I mean, literally, probably.
Yeah, no, that is one of the things that causes male pattern. That's why it's male pattern baldness, because you have high testosterone, so you go bald. Oh, is Bobo asking for proof? Okay, no, wait for me to read the tweet, Rosina. Come on. I was politely letting Cyrus finish his thing before I interrupted to read him.
Well, thank you for letting me finish.
Chuck Calesto says, breaking now, Representative Boebert demands for a third time proof of life on Joe Biden. I mean, we just watched him speak, but we know that's not going to...
Do we actually have real politicians who really have their jobs or have had their jobs at points in time?
She said a letter from a doctor is not proof of life. Like, come on, he's got a doctor's note saying, "I am alive." That is proof of life. Definitionally.
This coming from the woman whose biggest accomplishment in life was spilling 300 million tiny lives on a man's pants.
During Beetlejuice.
During Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, like, if a letter from a doctor is not proof of life, what is? Because, like, you know that video of him that we just watched giving a speech live, that's not going to count as proof of life to these people. But, like, getting a doctor to sign off on it, being like, yeah, no, I saw him, he is alive, what the fuck is wrong? Excuse me, what the fuck is wrong with you? How is that not proof of life?
It's not proof of life.
Like, I know I have to renew my kids' passports, and I have to bring proof of my wife's death, and it's basically a note from a doctor.
I'm sorry, sir. Do you have proof she died? Can you supply that to me right now?
You need to go dig up her corpse and drag it into the passport office with me. Sorry about the smell, but like I need to prove that she's dead.
We're going to grab a corpse and toss it into a Lazarus pit, and just, if it pops back up, then they're dead. And if they die in it, then they weren't dead. Well, if it pops back out, they were dead. If they come out and they're younger, they were alive. Lazarus pit's weird.
To be fair, my favorite clip from The Simpsons that I've used probably most often in any of my videos is that clip of like when is from the Halloween episode where Marge is a witch, and they're putting her on trial, and like, oh, we're gonna push you off this cliff, and if you plummet to your death, then that means you were a good Christian woman, and we've sent you to heaven. and everything's hunky-dory. And if you survive and you fly away, you'll report back here for execution. That means you're a witch. And like, and the part of it that I usually use is Lisa running up and like, "Stop! Doesn't the Bible say, 'Judge not, lest ye be judged'?" And then Wiggum goes, "The Bible says a lot of things. Shove her." As one of my, it's one of my favorite Simpsons clips, and it shows up in the Matt Powell video coming out this Friday. Except I actually like
Perfect.
dub Matt Powell over Lisa. Doesn't the Bible say? And then it's Matt Powell's voice saying a thing.
Perfect.
All right. Ann Coulter says, "Why are there girl Secret Service agents?"
Why are there girl Twitter posters? If you're gonna do the sexism, do it with your full fucking face,
okay,
woman.
Oh, her whole
sorry.
thing, like she was calling on people to be fired for the fact that there was a girl defending Trump. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, come on. Can you imagine? Okay, first off, the Secret Service don't get a choice in who they're assigned to. So could you imagine making it your life's work to become the elite force that is the Secret Service or whatever, and you get to that point in your life, it's a huge accomplishment for you, and then you get assigned to protect fucking Donald Trump. And then when you actually do your job, you actually put your fucking life at risk to protect this piece of shit who, let's be honest here, I'm not saying that political violence is okay. I'm not saying assassinating Trump is okay, but just a moral judgment here, he did deserve to not just get hit by the ear. Just gonna say that. And they are putting their lives on the line, putting themselves in the path of the bullets to protect this piece of shit. And then to have Ann Coulter pop up on Twitter being like, "She has a vagina. What's she doing there?" Can't have someone with a vagina protecting Trump. She's not worth protecting Trump because she's got a vagina.
These people
Like,
are
come
insane.
on.
These people need legitimate help.
I'm just like, that's just so insulting to everything these people do. Like, just assigning them to Trump in the first place is a bit insulting to them. Like, come on.
It is. But the sadder part is that because they don't get to choose, because they don't get to actually pick anything in regards to who they defend, we get to sit here and we get to watch Matt Walsh wax lyrical about how horrible it is for women to be Secret Service agents.
Yep. Now, on the other note, so first off, regardless of your political affiliation, this is a powerful image. Like, that's hard to deny. And I hate that it's a powerful image, but it is. That being said, just look at that guy. He's just like chill. It's like, yep, I'm here. Like, I know that's not what was going through his head, but he just looks so chill about everything.
You know what else wasn't going through somebody's head?
A bullet? God damn it, Cyrus.
You laughed.
I did laugh because it was funny. Doesn't mean it was appropriate.
Welcome to the internet.
Ugh.
Jesus. But no, that image right there genuinely upsets me, because the only reason that image exists is because Trump is an actor.
Yeah.
That image only exists because Trump knows how to play to the camera. That's it.
That's one of the things that he actually learned that from his ghostwriter that wrote The Art of the Deal. Like, there's an article that was written by the ghostwriter that explains how, like, every moment you're supposed to be thinking about, like, how this moment will look when you do a freeze frame or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can be assumed that Trump and his ghostwriter had enough of a relationship that they, like the ghostwriter knew his thought processes enough to write a book that sounded like it could have come from Trump. So, like, that's how he lives his life, is how would this moment look if you just took a still image of it?
And that's exactly what we see there.
That's like the one thing that Trump is good at. He's not good at businesses. They all go bankrupt. But he knew as soon as that bullet hit him and he knew what was going on. It's like, oh, if I start pumping my fist in the air, that's gonna look fucking awesome.
Even if it was objectively the stupidest thing he could have done in that particular instance.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, the guttural part of me wants to say that I wish the bullet didn't miss, but then I'm like, I don't know, like turning him into a martyr, that was, because like, you know, if he dies in a hospital bed somewhere, people are still gonna there's still gonna be conspiracy theories about how that was actually the Democrats killing him. But that won't gain the same traction as if he was actually killed at a rally. And so like, I don't know who the candidate would be if they offed Trump, if that successfully happened. I mean, now it would be JD Vance, but the way that would coalesce the base and energize them, I'm actually glad that he didn't die.
Oh.
If Trump truly lived his life as if a freeze frame could occur at any time, he wouldn't play tennis or golf. Okay, fair point.
You know.
We have all seen those pictures. James Lindsay says, let's talk about Kamala Harris saying to see what can be unburdened by what has been. This phrase,
this whole like, this is an esoteric phrase. It means Baphomet. I had a meltdown about this last night on stream.
Yeah, so this phrase,
I'm man enough to admit it.
Yeah, this phrase, which she repeats all the time, is not mysterious, it's esoteric. That is, it's occult. It's Marxist and Luciferian incantation. And that's easily seen. So I know he went on this whole long, 75 tweet screed about how the fact that she puts her right hand up for the first part and then uses her left hand for the second part mimics what the Baphomet statue does or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, he reads way too much into it, and I didn't read the whole thing. I just thought it was funny that within moments, this was within moments of her being announced as being endorsed by Biden as his successor. There's suddenly a long screed about how she's a Marxist, Luciferian, occultic, whatever.
None of this was important for the 3 years of information that he compiled.
Nobody mentioned Kamala Harris has been out of the public eye for the most part until suddenly Biden endorses her as a candidate. And now all of a sudden she's a Marxist, Luciferian occultist.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, let me reiterate, if she actually was, that would be fucking awesome compared to what she actually is. But also, James Lindsay, if you're not familiar with him, he's the guy that, the reason his Twitter handle, Conceptual James, is because he's so proud of that one time when he got a paper published about the conceptual penis that was supposed to be him trolling the feminists by showing how easy it is to get feminist papers published that say ridiculous things, except he couldn't actually get his paper published in any legitimate journals. He had to go to one of those pay-to-play ones where if you pay them $6,000 or whatever, I don't know what amount he paid, but you pay a certain amount and they'll publish you regardless of how shit your thing is. That's where he ended up publishing. And then he used the fact that he got it published to be see, they'll publish anything.
And then it, didn't actually do what he said it did.
No. But it's funny to me that he made that his whole persona. That is his Twitter handle now, because he thinks that was his way of owning the libs or whatever. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he spent a bunch of his, well, realistically, it was people donating to him, but he spent a bunch of money to publish in a pay-to-play journal that anyone can publish in if they have the money to spend on it. That doesn't prove shit.
Nope, not even a little bit.
Even if he had gotten published in a legitimate journal, worst case scenario, that proves that the peer review process has some issues, which we know that it does. But he couldn't even exploit the issues that we know that it has. He had to go to the pay-to-play model to publish in a third-rate journal that will publish anything that pays them. So, yeah, he's a hack.
He is, but he gets to pretend that he's important on the internet. Does he? What does he even technically do anymore? Is
I
he
don't fucking know.
just get paid to do speaking engagements? Is that all he
Probably.
does?
That's probably it. It's very lucrative. Like, I don't know. I see Tim Pool doing the Tim Pool thing and being a very obvious idiot, and I'm just like, if I didn't have morals, I could be so fucking rich. It would be so easy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very clearly a leftist. If I came out tomorrow as being like, oh no, I learned this one thing that made me realize the left is nutty, then I could very easily make my way into the right-wing speaking circuit and just say stupid things that are easily debunkable and very clearly don't align with what I actually believe. But it doesn't matter because I'm saying what people want to hear. And you can make so much money that way. But I have morals. And I'm not willing to...
I'm not willing to compromise them for the money.
Like, the platform that I have, I feel like I have a responsibility to use it to try and make the world a better place. So to try and do that, to just be like, oh, well, what will make me money in the short term is just like, I can't.
No, and that's called being a responsible content creator, caring about legitimacy and facts and just other inconvenient things like that, you know.
And I mean, it also comes along with, like, sometimes I am wrong about shit. And if I am wrong about shit, I will admit that I'm wrong about shit and apologize for it and issue corrections. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
Efron says, he's a grifter, baby, a goddamn grifter, baby.
No, a grifter goddamn baby. Come on, get it right.
Well, I was just reading it as it was written.
That is a good song, though.
It is.
Yeah, no, sometimes I wish I didn't have the integrity that I do, because I could make way more money if I didn't.
Instead,
my partner just let out a really big sigh, so I feel like she's feeling it as well.
I wish you were a piece of shit.
No, you don't. Come
Jesus.
Okay, Neil Murray says, is there a functional difference between what you call a paradox of tolerance and an ideology of absolutist intolerance, liberationism, also known as cultural Marxism? Like,
that was a lot of words.
Did this person, like, go to their buzzword thesaurus before writing this tweet?
Just grab everything they possibly could?
Yeah, like, that's
so.
All that, it's just full of buzzwords. Like, the paradox of tolerance is very easy. It's, if you tolerate intolerant people, then you lose tolerance. So you don't tolerate the intolerant. It's that's not difficult.
If you put a group of Nazis and a group of Jews onto a no holds barred conversation board, the Nazis are going to speak a lot louder, and they're going to make it an uncomfortable place for the Jews. Then the Jews that are on the board are going to stop speaking. Now, technically, can they speak? Yes, absolutely. They have the ability to do so, but it is both inconvenient for them to speak. It is almost harmful for them to try and speak. It is dangerous in many cases for many reasons for them to attempt to even be on the board at all, let alone try to speak on it. Eventually, you will only have Nazis on the board. So to solve this, you have to identify what intolerance is, and then you remove the intolerance, and then suddenly the Nazis are allowed to speak on the board. They just can't say Nazi shit. And the Jews are allowed to speak on the board unless they'd find some way to be equally hateful. But, you know, there are no Gazans on the board right now, so I don't think that's going to happen.
God damn it, Saris.
I'm sorry.
You're not wrong.
I've made enough comments about it's unfortunate that Israel learned all of the stuff during Germany just so they could try to do it to Gaza. Like, that's
okay.
Not how that's supposed to go.
I'm going pee now, so you can dig us out of that hole while I'm gone.
But it's just the paradox of tolerance is super easy to understand, because all you have to do is figure out where the hateful rhetoric is coming from. And if you can identify the hateful rhetoric, then you just go, okay, cool. As long as you who are doing the hateful rhetoric are not able are able to say your bullshit, the other group of people that are currently being oppressed by you are not able to function. So we stop you from saying the thing, and suddenly y'all are able to do stuff. As long as you don't do other hateful shit, everybody will be able to do stuff. Ugh. Jesus. So no, that president says, oh, that's what happened to Twitter. That's basically what happened to Twitter. So because we know that Elon Musk basically brought in a whole bunch of API changes that have allowed him to whitelist people like, Che Rashik and other right-wing commenters, Twitter has become far more toxic and far harder to be on because it's easier to be a bigot on Twitter. Always. Very, very always. Dan says it goes beyond Gaza. Understandably, it goes beyond Gaza, but as of right now, the major conflict that is on everybody's minds is Israel's genocide of Gaza, period. Which is obviously not saying that all Jews are doing it. That's conspiracy-minded bullshit. But it is almost a matter of fact that Israel is attempting to wipe out everything that we currently know as Gaza, which is a form of genocide. Van Briggs says, slurp some water and stop with the fucking Haktua shit. Jesus Christ. It stopped being endearing like a few days after she said it. Colleen says, oh, there's a list of people Twitter has whitelisted to be able to say slurs. Yep. And that's a huge issue. But, these people who freak out about the paradox of tolerance only want to be in a board where they have the ability to say whatever the hell they want and abuse whomever the hell they want. Sunbrim says, I'm an equal opportunity bigot and very open, even-tempered person. I hate everyone and am constantly enraged. That's not good. That's not good at all. Dither says, I think even she's tired of the joke too. It's so weird that she was able to launch an entire media career effectively off of that.
Ooh, were you talking about Twitter's API again?
No, I was talking about the fact that the Haktua girl was able to launch such a hugely lucrative campaign effectively as a media personality. I am hearing... Wait, is Chip being stupid again? Hold on.
Your turn to go?
Chip, did you forget? You did. Come here. Carl, do you want to come back in? So, the way my office is set up, the way office, bedroom, and our hangout spot are all set up, they're all effectively one room, but they used to be 3 rooms that we knocked all the walls down between. Chip, well, not Growlithe, I'm petting Growlithe right now, but Chip, for all of his smarts, which he has very few of them, he's a very loving pitty. He's a very loving pit bull. I love him dearly. He's very cute. Here he is, just trying to get somewhat in frame. He's trying at least. So this bean whined at the door to be let in. He forgot that the door to the bedroom is open. Therefore, he could just walk into the bedroom and through the closet and make it to my office. Because we removed all of the walls.
So, you reminded me, I wanted to talk about this earlier, but we got Puddles spayed yesterday.
Where are my testicles, Summer?
So she's got the cone of shame right now as she recovers. And yesterday she was still a little bit high on the drugs. So my partner and I, she was on the couch and she was like acting as though she wanted to not be on the couch anymore, but didn't know how to get off the couch. So we took her off the couch and we just put her on the floor and waited to see what she would do. And she didn't really do much. So we walked away, did our own thing for a little bit or whatever. And then we came back and this is how we found her. She was just standing there with her nose on the couch, looking sad, being like, can you guys pick me back up and put me back on the couch, please?
I have no idea how to move.
It was so adorable, and she did the same thing on the stairs, like because she puts herself to bed. She loves going to bed, and she always gets mad at us when we stay up too late, and she'll like glare at us or whatever. But like last night at about like 8:30, like it was not late at all, but like she still hopped up on the surgery drugs, so she was tired. She like went up the first 3 stairs, and then she stood there on the stairs like that with just like her face on the next stair being like, can you guys pick me up the rest of the way, please?
That's so adorable, though.
It is.
Like that's really cute and endearing.
She's such a cutie, and I felt bad 'cause, like, she's only been to that vet a few times, but like as soon as I pulled into the parking lot, she started whining. It's like, oh, and this is the bad trip. The other trips weren't that bad. It was just like shots and stuff. But yeah, I'm telling the kids that she's a cyborg puppy now because she's got the microchip.
No. I mean,
It is technically cyborg, yeah.
Technically, yeah. Technically, yes. That is cyborg.
Okay, next tweet. Objectively Christian says, frankly, it's not the right question. Of course, in the law, God grants conditions for slavery. The right question is that a deal breaker? To which the answer is yes.
Yes.
Obviously.
Like, yes, that is a deal breaker. I don't understand why this wouldn't be a deal breaker.
Yeah, why would slavery not be a deal breaker? I don't understand why owning other people as property would not be a deal breaker for a moral code.
The right question is that a deal breaker?
Oh, Kit says Neuralink your dog, eh? No, I actually love my dog, so absolutely not.
Yeah, we would like the dog to be able to survive many more moons.
Yeah, no, we just stuck the little microchip in her that if she ever gets lost, they will scan it at the animal shelter, and our phone number will be attached to it. And they'll just call us and be like, hey, we got your dog.
Tom, the not so brave as Lancelot followed. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, yeah. So this is one of those things where it's like, if you're going to claim that the Bible is the inerrant word of God, you find yourself doing weird things like defending slavery, because slavery is very clearly allowed in the Bible.
Yep.
So, the things Christians will say to try and not contradict their own book. Pierce Morgan says, where is Joe Biden? Astounding that he hasn't been seen or heard since quitting the race.
This was like 24 hours after he released the statement, after he was confirmed to have COVID.
So now I did pull this before it was announced that he was going to be speaking tonight. That was kind of a last minute change that we decided we were going to watch that as well. I still think it's kind of funny because, like, realistically, like, Biden announced that he is no longer campaigning, which means that he shouldn't be visible. He's now passing the torch on to the next person. So whoever is left campaigning is the person that should be visible. He should be stepping aside. So the fact that he's not in the spotlight is exactly what we would expect from someone who is just doing their job and not campaigning for the next job. Like, I don't understand why it's a problem that Joe Biden was not, like, and that's even ignoring the fact that he had COVID in this whole flurry of things happening. Like, yeah, he's recovering from a severe illness. It's okay for him to not be on camera every day while doing that.
Not according to Piers Morgan, though, and don't you know, his word is law.
Is it? No, I don't know that. Sorry.
You don't know that?
Nope.
Well, I know it's news to you, but we've got to tell you the awful truth.
He's the King of England?
He's the King of England.
I mean, where is Charles? I haven't seen him on the cameras for a while.
Hashtag where is Charles?
Yeah. Piers Morgan's new... Hashtag Piers Morgan for king. I mean, why the fuck not? He'd be just as effective as Chuck. All right, so this is an account that I follow on Twitter that they were on the whitelist for they're allowed to say slurs that you sent me. But this account basically just takes Trump's Truth Social things and reposts them on Twitter, which I've decided that's how I'm going to get Trump's shit from now on, because I don't want to go to Truth Social.
Oh.
I don't want to go to Twitter anymore either, but I'm already there.
You don't want to go to Truth Social?
Piers Morgan just wants to whack to new videos of Biden. Maybe. I don't know.
What?
I don't know. As a newly out of the closet pansexual who leans towards women, I don't want to whack it to Biden. But I would if that was the only option.
Sure.
It's like, I don't want to masturbate to gay porn, but if there's nothing else, why not?
Sure. Why not? We're already here anyway.
Anyway, so apparently Trump said only 104 days now until the most important election of our lifetime. Where is Joe Biden? He posted this after Joe Biden dropped out of the race, so like Joe Biden is no longer in the most important election in our lifetime. So why does it matter where he is?
He's just
presidenting
at home.
He's either presidenting or recovering from COVID. Either one, you're not entitled to a live feed of his bedroom.
What if I want it? No, I don't want a live feed of his bedroom. I'm good.
Sean Helfin says he's just out getting ice cream.
He does like ice cream.
Everybody, who doesn't like ice cream? I can't believe that that's a thing that they... Well, I mean, I can believe it because they latched onto Obama's tan fucking suit, but...
And there are people who don't like chocolate, and they're wrong.
They are wrong. And who's running the country? Who has the nuclear football? I don't know who has the nuclear football. Who's running the country? A weird mishmash of politicians.
Whoever needs to be running the country at the time.
Because the president is not the king. So, like, it's this weird mishmash of, like, sometimes the president can do powerful things that impact the country greatly. Sometimes Congress can do powerful things that impact the country greatly. Sometimes the Supreme Court can do powerful things that impact the country greatly. That's the whole 3 branches of government thing that is supposed to be, like, grade 6 civics for you guys. But apparently some random Canadian who's a college dropout knows that more than a former president of the United States.
Apparently.
Ooh, Frankie Turek. I think we have a couple from Frank.
No, why do we have to have any from Frank?
He says, folks who say they're fighting for tolerance are often the most intolerant people out there. They don't tolerate people that don't agree with them, and that is not the definition of tolerance. In order to tolerate someone, you have to disagree with them. Okay, first off, you can tolerate people that you agree with.
Yeah, you can. It's a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
So, like, he doesn't even know how tolerance works. But secondly, their whole pretending that the paradox of tolerance is actually difficult is just so mind-boggling to me. Like, I don't want to rehash it because you did a perfectly good explanation of it earlier, but it's so fucking obvious. I just don't understand why it's so hard to understand.
I didn't realize it was 10 o'clock until I heard right behind me Growlithe.
I did a pee.
Do you hear her?
I did not hear her, but I'm not surprised.
Oh, come here then. Come here. All the way with your giant bear claws of dogginess.
Yeah,
no, not you too. Shit.
I'm just gonna say it. Growlithe was a lot cuter as a puppy. Growlithe was an absolutely fucking adorable puppy.
Yeah.
Not that she's not still cute. But
I mean, she looks kind of like she did when she was a puppy now because we had to shave all of her fur off.
Yeah.
It's so hot down here and she kept getting gunk in her fur that it was like, okay, the responsible thing to do is to get rid of the problem, which is fur. So currently she looks like this.
Nice. I mean, mine looks like this.
What are you doing?
I mean,
All
that's
right.
what happens when you try to have a big dog as a lap dog.
I mean, I could do it with Chip too. Give me, here, bud. Over here now. Oh no, he's popped up.
I've lost my streaming partner to the dogs.
You have. Let's be honest.
He's like, it's either dogs or Frank Turek. I choose the dogs.
I choose the dogs too. Like, for Chip, it's easy. For Chip, he just accepts that he fits and therefore he consits. And now he's just doing the weird dog wiggle thing when you get their spot.
Yeah. Puddles is very aggressive if you stop petting her.
Growlithe can be. Chip, it depends on if you're petting somebody else instead.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
his
Puddles
criterion.
Puddles gets very mad when humans hug each other.
All right, Chipper.
She'll make sure she gets right in between there, and she'll start barking at you if she can't find a way in.
All right, I'm gonna let these two out real quick.
Okay.
Get this out of the way. Come on, no, not that way. That's where Saki's sleeping. You
Monorail
dillballs.
says most big dogs don't realize they aren't big
Come on.
dogs. That is true. Yeah, they all dogs are lap dogs because laps are comfy. But yeah, no. Apparently, this is a thing that is fairly common in the Cockapoo breed, where if you like start petting Puddles and then you stop, she will like very aggressively like stuff her head under your hand so that you can continue petting her, and she's very obviously angry at the fact that you stopped. And it's kind of adorable, but also kind of annoying when it's like, I'm trying to work and she's wanting attention. She's my little attention whore. I'm talking about Puddles, not you. You come and pet me when you want attention. And yeah, that works for me. So, well, Cirrus is gone. Will you watch God's Gang with us? I promise it's worth it. I don't know. I'm not. Is it? Am I going to
All
get
right.
demonetized?
I exist again.
I don't know, Cirrus. My chat's been being like, "Oh, well, Cirrus is gone. You need to watch this thing." So I'm a little bit worried.
What are you worried about? What you're watching, or
I don't know. Let's see. God's Gang? What the fuck is this?
it is a terrible TV show about 4 different characters of different faiths fighting supervillains.
Two Muslim stories are hypnotizing. Taekwondo Hindu reads animals' minds while
Ninju? Ninju?
Ninja.
Taekwondo Hindu?
Taekwondo Hindu.
Su Muslim? Oh my god.
Jews overanalyzing. Ladove and dogma.
Ninju is overanalyzing.
And
Ladove?
they are helped by Ladove and Dogma.
Oh god.
Dogma.
Dogma. Ms. Dogma.
Have their backs no matter who or what attacks.
What the fuck is this? What is your audience making me watch? I'm sorry for the crop. No, I'm not fixing it. Fuck you.
Hey, who took my chef hat?
Huh. Not me. Every time I put that thing on, I get lost.
Is this supposed to be making fun of the stereotypes?
All right, Taekwondo Hindu. Can
To
you
a
beat
degree.
my Eagle Man? Kaka!
Oh god.
So the thing is, the show is not meant to be offensive. I've looked at what the creators have said about the show and everything. I reached out to them via email months ago. They haven't gotten back to me. But no, they legitimately think that this is the tolerance thing for them. Like they're not trying to be offensive to anybody. This is like hyper inclusivity of the show.
But Ninju's voice sounds like Eli Bosnick making an offensive Jew voice.
Yes, I understand. I understand that there was a director somewhere going, no, I need
Ganesh
you to
beats
sound more
all.
Jewish.
Ganesh beats everybody.
Nash? Ha! That's cold.
A better question is, where's Chris?
Surprise! You what? Oh, my burger. Oh, come on, the dog.
Oh, what is going on? Reploid says, Rhino, please make this stop. I don't know. Somebody said watch it while Cirrus was gone, and now it's like a train wreck. I can't turn away now.
Super cool. Oh, so I gave Sue Muslim the day off and decided to make everybody cheeseburgers. Hoo-hoo!
Now I want you to think about what he just did.
I'm giving you halal. No. Is it halal? No.
So he's handing non-kosher food to a Jewish person.
Yeah.
And he's handing beef to a Hindu.
Yeah. And a non-halal. What's the haram? That's the word. Haram. So the Christians being offensive to everybody while trying to be nice. Yeah, that actually tracks.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Chris, but I don't eat the meat of a cow.
And I do, if it's halal.
Oh, and yeah, Chris, I can't eat it if it has cheese on top. Oh, I see.
They've persecuted the Christian by having non-Christian practices.
I guess there's only one option for us now. Your plan is working. Them faith freaks done finally realized that they's just too divided to work together.
I mean, yeah. They're not wrong. I know you guys don't see that with the crop, but they're holding a big box labeled cheeseburger mix. So, like, how are you? Okay.
It's cheeseburger mix. You just give it to somebody, they whip it up, and it becomes full cheeseburgers, you know?
Let's see. I can crop out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. I might actually fix this, because...
You might actually fix it?
I might actually fix it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm fixing it for you guys. You motherfuckers who make me watch this.
Guys, we successfully got Rhino to watch Dodge.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry to say this, and I think that the only option that we have left is to have a French fry party. Yeah.
Yeah, all carbs. That's the way to go.
Yeah. Awesome.
What the fuck is this?
So bad it's good.
It's stuck in his beard. He's got a fry stuck in his beard. What the
Yep. He does. It's true.
And she was making the what are you even talking about gesture? No, not that one.
What are we even talking about?
You know the gesture.
Yep.
The one that all the right wingers are saying Kamala is making.
Look out!
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I did have mostly French fries for dinner last night, but that was more of a these are like leftover things that are getting freezer burned and someone's got to eat them and I haven't had dinner yet and everybody else has kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than a this is what I actually want for dinner.
A likely story.
I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy having cheeseburger. Well, I mean, if I hadn't burned them, I would have enjoyed it more, but I did burn them. We have driven Naram to puts away. Okay, I'm done here. Bye. I'm sorry, Naram to puts. You've tolerated a lot, but we found your line. So the two heads are angry at the one head that's happy with the French fry party?
Yep, because their entire goal is to get them divided.
Okay, you say so.
What? Stop stealing my French fries, little dove. Well, technically, you stole it from me first. I am French, you see. These are French.
Oh, God. They're freedom fries, goddammit!
Technically, you stole it from me first.
I don't know what the fuck this is.
Fries.
It's almost over, guys.
How come they never invite us?
Their accent, they're trying to do accents, but it's not working very well.
I gotta say, Chris, I'm a huge fan of your cooking.
That bird stole my hot dog!
What can I say? I love American food. A guilty pleasure. Don't tell anyone.
And there are outtakes. There are outtakes with this.
Well, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Look, I went.
It was something, all right.
It was everything. It was everything I could have ever hoped a follow-up to the first episode would be. And this was my first time watching it.
I'm not doing the outtakes. I'm sorry, guys. That's not happening. Back to the tweets.
Maki Himiko says, "What? This was a lot shorter than the first episode. What the fuck?" Yeah, it is a lot shorter than the first episode. You're right.
You're welcome for going for the short one. I mean, I guess the whole concept of that show is that we can still be united even though our worldviews are mutually exclusive as long as we have French fries.
Yes.
So they're not McDonald's fries. Those have beef tallow? Don't know. You're not allowed to say that because my vegetarian child only eats McDonald's fries because they
McDonald's fries haven't had beef tallow for a very long time.
Yeah, because McDonald's is like the one fast food place that does not fry their fries in the same oil that they like fry chicken and shit. So like they're the only ones that are vegetarian friendly.
Like where the beef tallow thing used to be true, but that stopped being true a very long time ago. Source,
Okay.
I was a McDonald's manager.
Okay. Oh, now it's peanut oil. It can't be peanut oil. I have a kid that's allergic to peanuts, and he eats the McDonald's. Well, okay.
It's
he
canola
pretends to eat
oil,
them.
I think.
Okay. Okay, whatever. It's not beef tallow. That's the main thing. Second Frank Turek tweet is if Biden is out because he's losing, then aren't the Dems a threat to democracy by forcing out their democratically elected candidate? No, because he wasn't elected as the candidate yet. And also, like, when you vote for the candidate and you know who their VP pick is, you know that if the candidate is out, the VP pick is the automatic takeover for that. So like
this is
that's
literally
part of the
how
democratic process.
Yeah, all of this is literally exactly how our democracy has functioned for about 150 of the years we've been around. Like, this is exactly how things have functioned for a very long time, right?
Yeah. And then if Biden is out because he's mentally compromised, then aren't the Dems a threat to democracy for insisting or for not insisting that he resign now?
So he's just saying that he can envision a world in which no matter what the reality is, he's always right. As always with Frank.
Well,
cool.
Like the thing with Biden is like there isn't really evidence to suggest that he is mentally incapable of doing the job. Like, was he bad at the debate? Yes. Is the job of president, like, does that require the same skill set as debates? There is some overlap to be sure, but like, there's so much more to being president than being able to, you know, have a commanding presence on a debate stage. Does having a commanding presence help? Sure. Is it required? No.
Nope.
So like, just because he did bad in a debate doesn't mean he's not capable. Now, that said, I am perfectly happy that he is dropping out of the race. Oh, I see. Natural beef flavor contains hydrolyzed wheat and hydrolyzed milk and starting ingredients for McDonald's fries. Sure. I don't know. All right. Vintage Kayak 3407. Oh, this was a comment on one of my videos. Says, I'm not Christian, but I don't know why you gotta shit on them. Probably the most harmless group of people I can think of off the dome. I'm so happy for this person that they can live in complete ignorance of Project 2025. But they are quite literally the least harmless group of people that I can think of off the dome. Like, you look at the terrorist acts that have happened in the United States in the last decade or so.
Look at the people who have been made homeless because Christian their parents have thrown them away because of being because they were Christian.
Yeah.
Look at the people who were Christians as parents, had a kid who was gay or trans, and then disavowed their child because of that. I'm sorry, we're not doing the harmless. Like, belief is a harmless thing here.
Oh, to be fair, there are people that probably would not adopt the Christian label that are also pieces of shit when it comes to trans issues.
True. No, 100%. But, like,
I happen to know that because one of my kids has a dad that is that.
Mm-hmm. Like, the fact of the matter is, if somebody is hiding behind their Bible for bigotry, then I am willing to play their game and blame their Bible for every single bit of bigotry that they are ascribing to. I'm willing to do that if they want to play that game. Typically, I will take the stance that Christians and people simply being Christian doesn't make them a bad person, because it doesn't. But if somebody wants to do the whole, no, I'm not angry at gay people, but God says in Roman that they're not getting into heaven, so, you know, by proxy, and then there's Leviticus. Like, if they're going to do that, I'm going to be, okay, cool, so your book's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you want to play that game? You want to shift that goalpost? Fine. I'll shift right along with you, and we'll just go after the book. No, you can't do that. Yes, I can, and it's your fault.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. We made it through the tweets.
Oh, that's the last one?
That was the last one.
Yay. And we made it through God's Gang.
Yeah. And what time is it? 10:19? We also kind of finished early, but only because we started early.
How do you feel about God's Gang, Vice Rhino?
I feel like I was about to recommend that to the God Awful Movies guy. Probably not for a whole episode of God Awful Movies, but maybe it could be a God Awful mini on Skay the Atheist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that tracks.
So,
wait till you see the first episode in its entirety.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's also
it was
Rhino, I need to get you to watch Little Light Studios with me.
Okay, sure.
They're a Christian movie production company, and they do things about how video games are evil, anime is evil. They do the standard satanic panic thing of anything the young people like is automatically
the
evil.
Jewish ninja has a move called the Jew laser?
Yes, he does. He has a Jewish laser.
He has a Jewish laser.
He has a Jewish laser.
Oh my God.
It's amazing.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was right. Okay, I have to watch that now. Heidi, I know what we're doing tonight after the stream. We're watching Jewish laser peoples. Because he's already watched it on his stream. Oh. Are the people... Okay, please at least tell me the people that got to voice act those characters belong to the groups that they are voice acting for, and it's not just some guy putting on a Jew voice.
Oh, I have.
And a guy putting on a black voice for the Christian one. Because
I have zero idea.
Because there's a very big difference between a Jewish person being like, this is how Jews are, and a non-Jewish person doing that.
Thray says, joke's on you, it's all one guy. Even Even Taekwon Hindu, all one guy
Is
doing
it
all
all
the voices.
Oh my god.
No, I don't think it actually is.
That would be hilarious. And
I haven't looked
very
specifically into the
problematic.
staff. I contacted them because I wanted to like talk with the creators of the show, but of course never got a response there. But no,
I once had an email back and forth with the director of AD-33, the movie. Because
Stoff says because Cirrus fucking lost the disc. So Stoff, I have great news. Saki and I had to take apart the bedroom for a little bit because we found that Gigi had gone under the bed to pee. Despite us getting a bed, she's not supposed to be able to go under. She found a way anyway because she's a cat and she's made of liquid. Cleaned all that up, and I actually did find the disc. I don't know how the hell it ended up under the bed, but I found the disc for Anime
Cirrus,
Exposed.
When I find things in weird places, I can at least blame the kids.
I have fur babies, and 4 of them are cats.
Do they randomly move discs around?
They randomly move everything around. Saki and I will be playing video games, and then suddenly we'll just hear a crash, and we'll go into the living room and find out that one of the cats has found something on a shelf somewhere, and they decided that it was in an inappropriate location.
Sounds about right. Oh, someone sent me an IMDb link, so that's for God's Gang. I mean, obviously I can't tell everything from just their names, but let's see. Oh my goodness, it looks like the Jewish person does not have a dedicated person who plays them. It's just people that have been credited with additional voices. Which means that it's almost certainly a non-Jewish person just doing their Jew voice, and they don't want to be associated with that. Might be Ross Allen. No, that's only... No, he played Ledov. Oh no, yeah, it is Ross Allen. Ross Allen plays Ninju.
Oh.
There's no information about Ross Allen on IMDb. Other than that, he played Ninju. Oh, God.
Crisscross, Ninju, and Ledov. It is okay.
Okay.
It is exactly what you thought.
Okay. So, yeah, that's it for the stream. Ending on an oof.
Welcome to God's Gang, Rhino.
We're
stronger together.
Yep, I know what I'm doing after the stream. Oh, I guess I should. You know what? I'm going to set up a raid. So you're staying streaming after I'm done, right?
No, I am hopping off.
Okay, well then fuck that then. I will set up a raid maybe to... I don't see anyone that I recognize, so fuck that. Sorry, I don't do raids when I don't know the people.
Nope, entirely fair.
Okay. So yeah. See you next... No, that's not this one. Fuck off. That's the one. Fuck off. Bye.